And we are on. Hello and welcome to Sports Unhinged. My name is Mohamed, and however you might be listening to us today, whether it's your favorite podcast app or if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, we are happy that you can join us on this NFL episode. I am joined today by friends of the show and returning guests, Ujitha and Mark Sherman.
Here we go.
Now, you guys came on November 2017, right before the playoffs.
When video wasn't around.
Video wasn't around.
Video was
we were just
invented.
an audio podcast. And Ujitha, you came on and made a declaration right before the playoffs that it was going to be your year.
He called
for the
me off
Philadelphia
already.
Eagles.
And it
you
was,
won the
baby.
Super Bowl. It was.
Super Bowl, baby. Super Bowl.
Are you
That's
going
right.
to make a similar declaration this time?
Absolutely. Why not?
Based on the first 3 weeks.
Well, do we want to get started on the Eagles, are we?
Absolutely.
Is that what
we should?
doing?
We should.
I guess
right,
we're going to
okay.
find out whether it was just a lucky guess or if he
luck.
really knows.
No, the great roster, great coaching, great GMing.
Exactly. And it wasn't a pretty start to the season.
Yeah.
Okay, 2-1, but everybody takes those W's starting the season. But what's good is having seen what Carson Wentz looked like when he came on the field. He didn't do a fantastic job, but he did right enough. And I'll tell you, his first possession was a 12-play, 79-yard drive in 5 minutes. No huddle, shotgun, and he did it all. He did it. He called audibles. He long pass, short passes, threw it to the backfield. He did everything. So it looked good to start. Did have an interception, but one of the things that the Eagles haven't forgotten from last season is resilience, will to win. It's still there.
Do you think there's a Super Bowl hangover, though? Do you think that's going to affect you guys?
There's always going to be a Super Bowl hangover, but as I said, that resilience is still there. We've outscored opponents 22-9 in the fourth quarter, which means that the team is giving their effort for 60 minutes of the game.
Right.
Against Atlanta, they shut down Julio Jones last play, brought down Andrew Luck last play. So they're giving it their all, and that's what you want to see. There are a lot of injuries. Alshon's still out. The backfield, two first string, second string is out.
Yeah.
Carson's got a lot to do, but there's a lot of hope in him.
I think so too. But I still feel that you guys are not going to win the division. You're going to get through on a wild card. I don't know why I had that.
You know what? Let's just start talking about how Dallas is going to win the NFC East. Let's talk about that.
Well, let's just have a quick look at Dak and his first few games.
Yeah, let's do that.
And he became just the fifth quarterback in history with less than 200 passing yards while attempting 25-plus passes in 5 consecutive games.
Right. Well,
now, that doesn't give you a basis of gaining yards.
Let me increase on that. It's 200 yards in the last 11 games. It's not just this season. It's from the last season as well.
Well, 5 consecutive was last year as well.
So I made the prediction, obviously, that at the beginning of the season that Dallas was going to win the East.
We didn't hear about that. Did you hear about this?
No
I'm
one
not
told
ready
me.
to even pull back
you
on that.
wouldn't
Yes,
talk
Dallas are 30th in yards. The 31st in points. They're 8 out of 34 on third downs. But
why are we still talking about Dallas then?
I'll tell you why. Because Ezekiel Elliott is the number 1 rusher in the NFL right now since the beginning of the season.
He's averaging 5.7 a carry, which is fantastic.
Which is great.
Anything
right?
over 4 is really good.
Now, Dak Prescott, a lot of people have very short memories. You guys forget what kind of quarterback he is, his mental makeup, and what he's capable of doing. I feel that this year, the NFC East is going to be very close. It's very easy for me to look bad right now and say that Dallas is going to do a terrible job.
Well,
and they have a difficult schedule coming up as well. But I still feel that they can do something.
Dak,
sorry,
go ahead.
Just honestly, I'm neutral to the East, obviously. I don't care. But my honest opinion is that I think the Redskins and the Eagles are both better teams. From what I've seen.
Yeah.
And I
the
think
Cowboys
they're
have a
more
lot
capable.
to fix on the offense. It's just not only Dak.
Right.
He hasn't got targets.
Well, his targets
He
are
hasn't got
Hearns and
targets.
Gallup.
That's right.
Hearns has been targeted 9 times for 51.
Cole Beasley, and that's about it.
Yeah.
His O-line is just ridiculous. I mean,
it's interesting right now because Dak, I think, will be eligible for a contract near the end of the season.
Yeah.
What should Dallas do? Should they re-sign him for a long-term contract?
But that's
or do
what
they
I said.
franchise him for a year?
I think they've got to stick with him because it's not just him. They've got a lot to do on the offense. They got to fix the O-line. They got to work on these whatever receivers they have. they got to give him the targets. I think they have to have faith in him for a while at least.
I think they'll franchise him. If his year continues as it started,
Right.
and he ends up at whatever, ranked 25 or something, I think they'll franchise him for a year, but it's going to cost him a lot of money. But the thing is, that there's a lot of good quarterbacks coming out the next draft.
Yeah.
So
What happened to that offensive line? It used to be one of the best in the NFL, and then
didn't they lose the O-line coach?
maybe.
I don't remember.
I'm not sure.
Maybe.
I
But,
don't care about Dallas much.
No, I barely read about them. So.
The only
All right.
reason we're talking about Dallas
Then let's move
It's
on
because
from
of
that.
Mohamed.
because somebody, I don't know Mohamed, I don't know his
I-
name.
Let's
somebody
move on
said
to
they'd
your
win the
division.
East.
Okay,
So
I'll
right
do
now-
a
all
quick
right.
prediction. Dallas will be third or fourth in
Third
the
or
East.
fourth.
That's just my...
I'm going to hold on for
Wait,
a couple
wait,
more
all
weeks.
right, they're
I'm probably
third-
going to be
they're-
wrong, but I'll hold on for
They're
a couple more
third, they're
weeks.
third and fourth. So who wins the division?
You guys are finishing second. That's all I know.
So you're saying Redskins take the division?
Redskins, Giants, whoever it is.
Giants are not
you guys
taking the
finish
division.
second.
It's
I think it's between
well,
Eagles and Redskins, personally.
It is, but Redskins, I'm still not sure about where they are going as a team.
You-
Well, they've got
You're
a
never
huge
sure
amount of
with the
industry.
Redskins.
Injuries. Injuries.
It's a lot of industries
There's
as
a
well.
lot of industries in Washington. But no,
It's very political
yeah,
industries.
apparently. No, I think they've been really badly hit. And
Yeah,
if they can
they
get
have.
a couple of players back from IR later in the year, I think they're going to be good
But
for a
on
run.
paper, they've got Duxon and Crowder. In the
I like Alex Smith. I
John
think he's
Root.
so
They
solid.
got Alex Smith and Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
Look what he
making
did. He
a
burned up the
resurrection.
field. Yeah.
He started
Yeah.
so well. Will
And
he
he-
be able to keep it?
And he
keep it
came
up,
so
you know?
cheap for them. He, 1 year, 1 million,
Yeah,
1 million,
nothing.
whatever contract.
Nothing.
And he really worked out last Sunday,
Yeah.
didn't he?
Oh, yeah. It's a matter of him doing it every
Can he
other
do it
week.
over and over again?
Yeah.
What is he? 30,
Early 30s.
30, 33?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. He still has something in him, that's for sure.
All right,
Great
let's
player.
move to your division. Obviously, the Chicago Bears acquired Khalil Mack, who's been wrecking the league since he arrived. It's been absolutely fantastic. How do you feel about the Chicago Bears going forward?
I'm really happy with the defense. I think they've been awesome, really, really strong. And Mack has just added to that, and he's lifted everybody up. First couple of possessions in Arizona at the weekend were awful. They got a couple of touchdowns.
Yeah.
That was all just bad. But after that, they barely gave him anything, so much so that they took Sam Bradford out in the end.
Yeah.
He was shell-shocked. I think this week is going to be a really good test against Tampa.
With Arizona, though, you mentioned how they took out Sam Bradford and put in Josh Rosen.
Josh
Yeah.
Rosen, yeah.
And he had to make an 80-yard drive against
A good defense.
very, very good defense. Don't you think that
Should
was...
they have brought him in, though?
That's what I'm saying.
I
I,
think
think
it was-
it's
yeah,
unfair
they put him
for
to the
kid
slaughter.
to bring him in that
in that
time,
situation,
in that
yeah.
situation, and ask him to. I mean, that's not how you kind of ease somebody into the NFL where they can get beat.
No,
up.
it's
not
not.
a rookie quarterback, that's for sure.
But the thing is, I think Bradford was so badly,
Poor.
and so badly
he's
beaten
healthy.
up. He's healthy, which is something. But he was so badly beaten up by Chicago
Yeah.
that
Yeah, he was.
really the head coach had no choice. And in the end,
But you'd rather have one hurt quarterback than two, surely.
yeah, I think that's why they got him to lob it.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't want to get him hurt, but he got sacked in the end. But it's just, I felt for the kid, really.
Yeah.
And he is a kid.
What do you feel about Trubisky? That's the real question.
Very,
Yeah?
very much a work in progress. A lot of Bears fans, or some Bears fans, are throwing him under the bus, which is
Better
grossly
than last
unfair.
season or worse than last season?
I think he's better. I think he's actually a bit more accurate. He's given some more plays this year. Last year, the play calling for him was pretty awful. I just think he needs another 6 or 7 games. I really do. I do think the team will make a big step in week 6.
Yeah.
Because week 5, well, this week they've got Tampa. Then they've got a bye week. And I just think that couple of weeks is going to bring everybody up. I still don't think Mack is 100%. So
Imagine when he's 100%.
When he is 100%.
when he's 100%, I think you're going to
10
see...
sacks a game, baby. That's what.
Well, that would be great, but it's not going to happen.
But I feel
It's-
Trubisky, I don't know if the coaches are getting into his head or it doesn't feel like he's really in control of that offense somehow, fully.
He's not being himself. I
He's
think
not
he's
being
worrying
himself.
too much. He's thinking too much.
Overthinking things, and it could be the coaching. I don't know. You know better what's going on in Chicago. So
Matt Nagy is saying it's a very complicated offense that he's trying to learn, and they're easing him in. And he's made 1 or 2 mistakes, which has kind of upset him. You can see that when he's playing. No, I'm okay with where he is. I'm not going to throw him under the bus at all. I'm
I don't think
comfortable.
you should. I think if I was a Chicago Bears fan, I'd be very happy in the direction the team is
I've
going.
been saying it even before the season that I like what the Bears have done this season.
I think the off-season, they won the off-season.
They did.
And then getting Mac when they did as well.
Right. That was a no-brainer for the Bears.
Well,
and they did it.
I talked about how Green Bay should have gotten
Exactly.
him. I mean, this is one of the biggest crimes that you can commit as a team when you have a quarterback as rare as Aaron Rodgers. And he's in his prime. And all he needs is a little bit of help just to get that team over the hump and into the playoffs. And they let Khalil Mack go to a divisional rival.
Not just into the playoffs, but into the Super Bowl.
Yep.
You need more Super Bowls with someone like Aaron Rodgers,
Exactly.
right?
And he's running that. He's running that offense on his own.
Yeah.
I mean, he lifts the
On
team.
one leg.
He lifts the team out on one leg.
On one leg.
Yeah.
Now let's stay with the Green Bay Packers. So their linebacker Clay Matthews said that the NFL is getting soft after he was whistled for a third roughing the passer penalty this season, while the league took an unusual step of expressing immediate support for the call in their latest instance of the controversial
The Aaron Rodgers rule.
The protect the quarterback.
Exactly. I mean, the Packers should shut the hell up because this rule is It's because Aaron went down in what is it? I don't remember what it was.
A couple of years ago.
Was it
but
last season?
why are we blaming the Aaron Rodgers for this? I'm blaming
Because
the NFL.
The
No.
rule came in when he went down and broke his collarbone.
Yeah, every time Aaron Rodgers is hit, it's
there's a new
always a flag thrown.
Do you guys think that the NFL is getting soft? What do you think about this?
Yes, they are. I don't like the rule at all, obviously.
But the problem is you've got guys from 10 years ago with brain injuries and various other injuries, and the NFL are really covering the backs at the moment. So that's what it's about.
So what do you
It's
want?
about
You got
covering
Clay
themselves.
Matthews. He's been trained from
All
whenever
his life.
all his life.
To hit a quarterback.
To hit a quarterback and hit him hard.
Absolutely.
And this is what he's been trained to do, physically and mentally.
Right.
And you've got a guy who's, 260 pounds or whatever. You are going to go off the air and body slam yourself down. You are going to go down pretty hard.
Yeah, but
how's he going to stop that?
It's about body weight on the quarterback. I get that.
That's what I'm saying.
But it's almost impossible.
But
I mean,
he's
if
got
you
to
look at
change
the
his technique.
replays, it's almost impossible when you're attacking a quarterback from the front and you're falling down. There's nothing that you can do to move out of the way. It's just part of the motion of going down.
So this is
Okay,
what the Dolphins D lineman, what was his name? He tore his ACL.
Yep.
Trying to
Dolphins-
move.
To stop himself.
William
Hayes, that's what it. And he's out for the season because he tried to stop himself from fully going after the quarterback.
I just think the NFL have drawn a line in the sand. The guys that are playing now are suffering. The guys who are going to come through will benefit because they've got time to actually adjust their techniques. The guys playing now haven't. They've got training camp, 4 preseason games where they barely play. It's not enough.
And they're saying that this is necessary to change the game and make it evolve so that it becomes safer. But again, James Harrison, I think, came on Fox and described it best. He said you have a lot of people who are non-football people. They've never played a snap in their lives, and they're the ones that are setting the rules. And it's just, people say that it's a quarterback league, right? I disagree with that. I don't think it's a quarterback.
No fun league.
No, I think that, for me, I enjoy watching big tackles, jukes,
That's why we got into the
good
game.
runs, just as much as somebody throwing the ball. Imagine if every quarterback started completing 60 and 70-yard passes. It will get boring very quick.
Do we want to see games that are 40-38 every weekend, like we saw New Orleans, Arizona? Or do you want to see defense having an influence on the game? I want to see good defense.
And
Absolutely.
listen, I'm all for QB safety, and there should be measures. And there are measures. And the measures are your left guard, your left tackle, right guard, right tackle. Those are your measures. If those guys stand up and do what they're supposed to do, quarterback's not going to get hit that much.
And the quarterback is a football player. He's drafted.
He knows
they're the highest paid players.
And they're the highest paid players, and they're the most protected players. I'm sorry, if somebody goes through the protection and lands on your quarterback.
That's on you.
That's
on your line.
The Clay Matthews tag. This is the third week in a row where he gets called for that.
The first one against the Bears, even though he's here, that was on Clay.
That was on Clay. The second one, I talked about it in the last podcast.
That's just ridiculous.
And this weekend
this week,
as well, awful.
I just don't understand it.
I dislike Clay Matthews intensely, and if I could
Clay
slam him, I
Matthews
would.
dislikes you as well.
Good. I'm okay with that.
By the way, this Bears fan is only wearing this jersey. It's like the Patriots underneath 1 and 2 and underachieving down there.
As I was saying, I dislike Clay Matthews intensely, but and if I could slam him, I would. I feel for him at the minute.
Yeah.
But only a little
He
bit.
was in Pitch Perfect. How could you not like him?
Imagine if we had Lawrence Taylor playing in today's
Oh
football.
my God.
He will probably get ejected every week.
Flags all over
You know,
the place.
if we go back to someone like Dick Butkus, who slammed people
Oh my God.
relentlessly,
There's no fridge from the 85 Bears.
he was
Come on now.
just immense. So it's a different game to
It
the
is
one
a
that we
different
grew up
game.
with. For
And,
sure.
and you notice the quarterbacks now are more about scrambling around the pocket. They're slightly
Right.
skinnier.
They're a lot more athletic
They're
than
more
they were.
athletic, and so which means they're a bit more fit and skinnier. So if you got a guy like Clay Matthews who's going to come after you, you are going to go down and possibly get hurt.
I can see the uniform for the quarterback being amended in the chest and stuff.
Armor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I really
think
can.
Cam Newton has been wearing that since he broke his ribs a couple of seasons
Yeah.
ago. You can see him.
Is he
he's
still
more-
playing?
he's more-
Is Cam still playing?
Cam who?
Oh, we're gonna go into the Panthers
I
now.
think so.
Are you guys gonna start?
No. I've got nothing
alright.
bad to say about the Panthers at all.
Cameron somebody.
Something like
I don't
that.
know.
Isaac Newton.
That's what it is.
Let's get into
Cameron
that
Isaac
division.
Newton.
Yeah, I think the NFC South is one of the most exciting divisions. It's
As always, and
always.
every season
It's
this happens.
unpredictable.
Yeah, it is unpredictable, and more so this season.
How about Drew Brees and the season that he's
Incredible.
having so far?
2 rushing touchdowns at the weekend. All those
Did you
yards.
see that spin move?
Just,
Oh my God.
yeah, but that was down to really, really bad defence
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
Let's
That
be
too,
honest.
yeah.
They went for the gap, not the man. And
Right.
that was just
The
stupid.
thing about Drew, he's at a different level. He can control this offense, and that's something like Trubisky is going to have to learn, over the coming years. And
Yeah, but someone like Drew Brees, even Peyton Manning, I think it
Yeah.
was, who had a couple of bad years.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't start off as elite.
They didn't,
And the trouble is today we're in this win it now, fix it now, be wonderful now,
oh, you're out.
or you're out. And it's just it's not feasible at all.
Even quarterbacks are just being drafted. I mean, they're not even getting time to develop.
Let's-
Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre for 3 years, and now we're getting to see what.
Let's talk about Sam Darnold for a second, who
Yeah.
had a brilliant first game. Suddenly he's anointed as a Hall of Famer, Pro Bowler,
Right.
perennial and all this. The fact is he's had 2 average games since then.
Right.
He's going to be a decent quarterback, but let's
gotta
give the
take
guy
time.
let's give the guy a chance to grow and learn the game.
But it just doesn't make sense. But then you have in the 49ers, for example, with Jimmy Garoppolo, where there was a very small sample size of the games that he's played.
He's
playing
not
for
a veteran quarterback. I don't know why everyone was treating him like
They're
he's
treating
a
him
veteran
and they're
quarterback.
paying
they
him like
paid
he's
him
a veteran
30
quarterback.
million or something this year.
And it's the biggest
ridiculous.
cap hit because he just
Yeah.
got injured in one of the
Yeah,
most
and-
idiotic plays I've ever seen.
Stupid.
And now they're looking for people like Tom Savage and
Landry
Matt
Jones,
Moore,
EJ Manuel,
EJ
my
Manuel,
goodness.
Matt Sims,
Yeah.
Carl Allen,
And you got
Kellen Clemens and TJ
Helen
Yates.
Keller, and they've got
Helen
all those.
Keller. Which college was he out of?
So
Look at Savage at Houston. Come on.
Yeah.
And
That guy destroyed Houston.
Exactly. Exactly. It's horrendous. So San Francisco, reaping what you sow a little bit. I feel for them. No one wants to see anyone get injured.
Going
Not
back to
like
the
that.
Saints, though, they've got a tough second half of the season coming
Yeah.
up. So, what are they at? Are they at 2-1?
2-1
Two
right
and
now.
one. Yeah. So they've got the Rams, Eagles, Bengals, Vikings, Falcons to come around right after the 7th week. So
Well, they
I don't
better
know
get
what
their
your
defense.
schedule is. Yeah. Well, that's kind of the they got to fix the defense.
That's
at the
it.
moment. But they'll have Mark Ingram back on offense,
Right.
which is going to be a big deal for them.
Look, offense, they can score 40 points at the moment.
That's true.
The problem is holding the opposition to under that. They were incredibly lucky on Sunday against Atlanta.
Right.
They won in the shootout. Good luck for them, really. But
We're
it could
seeing
have
a
gone
lot
either
of
way.
more high-scoring games this year in the
Yeah.
NFL. And that goes, again, because it's become a offensive game, a lot of penalties. Everything is geared towards protecting the quarterback and the offense and having more spectacular plays. I'm not sure if long-term you're overcompensating on making the game safer, but you're taking away the excitement and one big element of the game, which is defense.
The argument against that is Tennessee against Jacksonville. 9-6 field goals all round.
Yeah.
Nonsense.
And Jacksonville is the best defensive team
pretty much
in the league right
pretty
now.
much.
And they couldn't come true.
So Jimmy Garoppolo,
Yeah.
we saw that injury.
Yeah.
That was all on him.
It's all on him. I mean, it was decision-making by a quarterback.
Because he's not a
He's a
winning
rookie.
quarterback. That's why.
Overextend the play.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And he knows
Non-contact.
Yeah.
And the ACL was gone. All he had to do is go out of bounds.
And he was on the line, and he saw the line, and he said, "No, I'm going to go a little bit more that way, and just blow out my season." And that's what he did.
I put that down to a lack.
$37 million quarterback.
Yeah,
And
so
the
now you
cap
got
hit is
CJ
about
Beathard.
40 million this year.
30 something. Yeah. I think it's 32 and a half. But no, I just think he showed what he is, which is a very inexperienced quarterback.
Exactly.
The fact that he's been paid at 150 million, kind of irrelevant. You look at his body of work, and he's only played how many games?
And I think he was overrated last year because let's think about it. The games that the San Francisco 49ers won at the end of the season, they went 5 straight at the end of the season. That was garbage time. They were garbage games.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
No implications on the playoffs whatsoever.
But that's the hype he rode on.
Good luck to him.
And
But bad for San Francisco.
Yeah.
Really bad.
now you got CJ Beathard or Tom Savage trying to call the
Making
plays
a
out
comeback.
there. Yeah.
Well, okay. Are they going to win how many more games are they going to win this year with those guys
2.
under centre?
What do you guys think of Kaepernick? Should he be given
He should
any
be
consideration
absolutely.
whatsoever?
He should be back. He won't be back. But
No, Shanahan. I think Shanahan did it.
Not in San Francisco. I think
I think it'd be the most wonderful
Where
trade
else? Where
ever.
else is he going to go?
He's not going to play
He's not
again.
gonna-
But
He
do you
should, but
think
he's not gonna
that
play.
the commissioner is somehow going to get one of those owners to get Kaepernick in to avoid the lawsuit that's being filed against the NFL?
isn't
Is that going to stop the lawsuit? It's not going to stop the lawsuit.
It could probably
but
conditional will get you back if
That
you
would be
drop
the
it.
price he would have to pay.
No, but then would he pay that price?
I don't think so.
He's
I
not
don't
gonna
think he would
that
pay the price. He's got the Nike sponsorship now,
Yeah.
and
He's
so
not
money
gonna pay
isn't
that
as much
price.
of an issue as
He's
it might have
created
been.
an image for himself
Yeah.
now.
And
Yeah, so
you know,
how's he gonna let that
he's
go?
going to be a governor of California.
You think so?
Why
You
not?
think he's going to go into a
Why not?
political...
If Arnold
yeah.
could be governor of California,
Exactly.
Anybody can.
Colin Kaepernick.
Why
can.
not? Why not?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So no, he doesn't go to San Francisco. Shanahan has a problem right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well-
they tried to rebuild this team around Jimmy.
I don't think it's going to be a problem that would threaten his job because it's always been a long-term project. I mean, they signed him and the general manager for 6-year deals. They knew this is a quick it's not going to be a quick rebuild. It's going to be done through the draft, a few trades. It's going to take a few seasons. I didn't have a lot of expectations like a lot of people did on the 49ers at the beginning of the season.
I'll be honest, I did.
I
Because
didn't.
I
I
did
really
because they didn't just bring in Jimmy. Shanahan actually worked on the rest of the offense. There's Matt Breida guy who's come and done a great job in the backfield. Alfred Morris, Godwin, and now they're all injured as well.
Yeah.
So now they really have a problem. But I did have some hope that they would do something in the West.
Matt
And I think
Breida's stats are as good as Elliott's.
138 yards the other night.
Yeah.
Exactly. He's as good as Elliott
He's
stat-wise.
the second highest rusher right now in the
and
NFL.
you know, and we were talking at one point we were like, Matt who?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Who's number 3?
No idea.
Well, Todd is number 1.
No, it's Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah,
He's
then
number
Breida.
Breida, and then
Breida.
Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, but
is
we
number
saw,
3.
we saw, we saw,
You had to put that in,
but we've seen him the last 2 weeks. He's been awesome.
His ability to get yards after contact have been unbelievable.
Is he going to be able to do that for 16 games?
They're going to run him to the ground.
Exactly.
I know.
They,
I
And
know.
you see,
they did that last year. They
just-
did that last year as well.
yeah.
Him and
Let's go back.
Funkus.
Yeah.
You know, the workload on those guys after Benjamin went off to where he
Yeah,
went
to
to
the Bills.
The
Yeah.
Bills. You know, the workload was heavy, and I think McCaffrey has become a much better player.
He
this
spent
season.
most of the offseason just
And he's
gaining
fit,
muscle and
he's
size.
fit.
He
Yeah.
looks fantastic. There's a,
All right,
I'm just
steady
gonna-
on, steady on.
just about Chicago for a second. A lot
Yeah.
of Bears fans are saying, we should be using Jordan Howard more.
Right.
I'm not one of those. I'm actually quite happy. I'd like him a little bit more. I think he's going to come on strong second half of the season as defences get more and more worn out as the season goes on, I think Jordan Howard is going to shred them. I really do, because by then you're going to have Trubisky
Right.
a little bit more confident, a
You
little
want
bit more competent.
You want him to get more reps passing the ball.
Exactly.
I mean,
This
that
is more about
backfield
Trubisky.
is quite dangerous. You got
Cohen as well.
Cohen
Yeah.
and Hubbard.
Yeah.
Let's see.
On paper, they've got a good team.
All right. Let's move to the New England Patriots.
Why?
Yeah.
Because on Sunday, they did something that they've only done 11 times prior during the Tom Brady, Bill Belichick era. They lost back-to-back games. So since 2001, which is when Brady became the starting quarterback, the Patriots have been dominant in any game coming off a loss. Belichick teams were 41-11 in games where they lost the week before through the 2017 season. What do you guys think? Is it time to ring the alarm bells in New England?
You got to be kidding me. This happens every time for every
As soon as
season.
they lose a game.
They lose a game, they're done. They've had 1-2, 0-2, 2-2 starts for the last few seasons, and then they're done. But suddenly you wake up in February and they're one of the two teams still playing football.
Well, let's go back to 2014. In September they were 2-2.
Yeah.
They ended up 12-4, and they lost a garbage
Last
game
season as
against
well.
Buffalo last one.
Yeah.
And
they've been
they went
2-2
on
7 times before.
Exactly. So
they've won their division every single time. They've reached the Super Bowl, I think, on 4 occasions when they've started 2-2.
At the moment, their D is ranked 28th, their O is 25th.
Well,
they've got to get much better.
Their
than they've
defense
been.
started slow last season as well, just like the Saints. They started slow. Matt Patricia, who beat them last Sunday.
Who knows them
Knows them
better?
really well.
You know what happened, though, right? Matt Patricia obviously left Foxborough with a playbook under his beard or whatever.
Yeah.
And then all those plays were figured out. I mean, this was a game that everybody should have thought Detroit would win because Matt Patricia.
Yeah, but Detroit was so awful the first
The
2
first
weeks.
2 games,
No one called it.
they were competing with the Cardinals and the Bills for worst team of the...
The only thing I would say about New England is Josh Gordon. They paid, they've given him $700,000 for the year, which in NFL terms is nothing.
Right.
You're going to have Gordon,
Edelman's going
and
to be
Gronk.
back, so you write these guys off at your peril.
Yeah,
Yeah.
never.
They're no longer a September team,
No.
but they're going to come back at you in
October.
October, November, December, January,
Yeah.
and possibly
And
February.
this has been a statistic, I mentioned it before, where New England, since Bill Belichick took over, they win in September, they're 66% win record.
Yeah. This is
Move
just
to
a teaser.
October, they move up to 83%.
Exactly.
So a lot of people are saying that the first 3-4 games in the season are just an extension of the preseason for Bill Belichick.
Exactly.
That's where he starts experimenting. That's where he gets people in. And we saw that last year as well, where he was there was no starting running back for the New England Patriots. There was almost by committee. He was trying 3 or 4 different guys out, and then as they went along, two of them took over.
I agree with that 100%. I do think the game this weekend against Miami is vital. They cannot lose that. If they go into October as 1-3, I think the other teams will see that as a serious weakness and they'll pounce.
You got to give it up to Matt Patricia, though. I mean, he doubled up on Gronk. He did all. He did
what he needed to do
things
to
on
win.
defense
Absolutely.
to win. And
But I think one of the reasons why the talk about New England's demise has gone up a tad this year is because of what's been going on in the offseason, the disagreements between Tom Brady and Bill Belichick.
Yeah, well, they're checking out of the room they had together. Well, I'm saying this has been happening for the last few seasons. Okay, we keep saying this.
No, and Gronk being traded, he talked about that. They were about to trade him, and he threatened to retire.
This is Bill Belichick's false flags. This is all false.
You think it's false flags? I think there's some truth to it this time. I think where there's smoke, there's fire.
Let's talk about the Patriots in January.
Yeah.
How about that?
See, I don't
And
think
what
they're
they're
going to
do in the
have
off-season. If they lose Sunday, I think it's a bit more serious than we're thinking today.
Yeah.
That's why...
The only thing they've had trouble with is in this wide receiver position. I mean, you've had Brandon Cooks. Amendola was there for, 4 or 5 seasons.
Yeah.
They tried out Eric Decker, Kenny Britt. So that marriage has not worked out yet somehow. And
Josh Gordon is there now.
Josh Gordon.
I'm sure
there
it
you go.
makes sense.
Do you
Flash
think that
Gordon
works
in
out?
the Patriots. I think it does.
$700,000. If it doesn't, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
it's almost, if it works out, it's almost going to be daylight robbery.
Yeah.
And it's typical New England. It's like the...
It's typical Cleveland, typical...
They weren't going to
England.
pay Brandon Cooks the $80 million that the Rams
got it
have
in the
given
Rams,
him.
yeah.
Yep.
So he was not going to stay for that. He got $9 million roster.
And look at the Rams.
Yeah.
They're bottom of the table. Oh, no.
Let's see. Let's move over to the... Well, there's one game that just didn't make sense either.
Bills,
this week.
was it?
The Bills and the Vikings. So the Bills had the cornerback, Vontae Davis, quitting at halftime. They looked like the worst team. Their first game, we were watching the game together.
Maybe Vontae Davis was the problem because that defense played like crazy.
So Vontae Davis was the problem at Buffalo, and the kicker in the Vikings was the
Yeah.
problem there. So
Yeah. So things kind of balanced out.
they balanced out. They got a new kicker.
And we're back in this universe all over again.
There was an article on NFL.com where somebody wrote that the kicker was the missing piece for the Vikings to get to the Super Bowl.
How many
So Dan
times have we
Bailey
heard
was it?
this?
And a day later, the Bills, they were up at some point with 24, 28.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's unbelievable. I know it ended 27-6, so
No,
it
I
was
was-
24 to
Okay,
nothing.
cool.
Kirk Cousins dropped the ball inside their 25-yard twice in the first quarter. You can't win games.
Yeah, but the unpredictability of that division right now. So for you guys as the Chicago Bears, the Vikings should have taken this, bull
They
by
should be
the horns.
3-0.
And they should be.
They should be
just-
3-0. They're 1-1-1. Packers should be 2-1 if you like.
Right.
And the Bears 2-1, Lions wherever. But
And who did the Vikings get beat by? Josh Allen.
Josh Allen, he looked fantastic.
He did.
You
looked
see that
great.
he jumped over Anthony Barr. He not only did he jump over him, outran him at one time,
Yeah.
and then jumped over him. So they got
So-
beat by a rookie.
but before the season
Yeah.
and in the first game of the season, everyone was anointing Minnesota to be Super Bowl along with perhaps the Rams. They were going to contest the championship game.
I'll be honest.
So what's happened the last 2 weeks?
No, but Kirk Cousins, he was 44 yards in the first half.
Yeah.
The whole first half,
Yeah.
only 44
Nothing.
yards.
Nothing.
The Bills stifled them. Their defense, I'm telling you, Vontae Davis, he needed to be gone at halftime.
Well, he did him a
What do you
favor.
think a guy like him feels right now? What do you think? Does he put on his jersey and quietly tries to sneak in there
No,
like it didn't happen?
I think the paperwork's been
Just
done.
kidding.
Just kidding.
Just kidding.
Speaking of...
No, but hold on. Kirk Cousins, be honest. What do you think of him? His deal.
He's a
Yeah.
7 out of 10 quarterback, and he's got paid as a 10 out of 10
So
quarterback.
the Vikings got rid of who? Sam Bradford
Sam
and...
Bradford and
Casey
Teddy.
And
Keenum.
And Case Keenum.
Case Keenum.
Kirk Cousins is almost a carbon copy of both these guys. Maybe not Sam Bradford, he's a bit more
I'd have kept
fragile.
Keenum.
But they had somebody just like Kirk. I don't see the difference between the two.
I just wouldn't have traded Keenum. I think he deserved to stay there and get paid a 20 million salary, and he would have stayed.
Yeah.
And the
He got them to the championship.
exactly.
You're going to make me say something nice about the Eagles right now, but that's what they did with Nick Foles. They decided to keep
Yeah.
him, and Carson Wentz is coming in right
Exactly.
now. It's just...
He was
I
told
didn't-
up front, this is what's going to be like.
And he accepts it.
He accepted it.
And he showed us in the first
and
few
I think
games.
I told you soon as the Super Bowl was over, I think he'll probably be traded in October.
I still think
and-
that San Francisco could come in for him.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, they
That's
could
what
do
I
it
would
right
do.
now.
Yeah.
Because that
If
was...
they've got any money.
Super Bowl MVP, right?
Exactly.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
He's not looking like the Super Bowl MVP right now.
He's looking like a
but-
good backup
But he's looking
quarterback.
he's looking like a good quarterback.
Yeah.
He was playing in
backup
such a
quarterback.
confident system and a confident team last year.
That's what I'm saying.
He
It
was
was all
made to look
resilience.
so good, and he was good. He
was good.
He was really efficient.
Well, it helps to have one of the best offensive lines
Exactly.
in the league.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I can still see someone like San Francisco going in for him at the moment. I would if I was a GM and could afford it.
But
It's going to cost them picks,
I think
which
the
they won't want
Eagles
to do.
will also wait a game or two to see if Carson is really... I mean, he looked like he was up to it.
Yeah.
That was the difference between Carson Wentz and Deshaun Watson. Okay,
Deshaun Watson.
He was
big hype.
another one who was
Big
anointed
hype,
last year.
Big hype coming out this season.
But hold on, guys. I think people are jumping to conclusions here.
These two guys over here.
No, because I'm telling you, Deshaun Watson has been averaging almost 300 yards a game. He's
Not making a difference.
He's not making a difference, but he's actually playing well enough. It's just that there's certain things that need to be put together.
He's worried about his knee. He's playing
Fine.
like he's worried about his knee. I mean, watch the film between him and Carson Wentz.
Right.
Carson Wentz had the ACL. Watch him scramble around. He's not worried about his leg at all.
You know who I'm blaming this on for Deshaun Watson? I'm blaming it on the play calling.
Could be.
If
There's a lot
if
wrong
you look,
in Houston.
a lot of the incomplete passes, there's been a lot of drops with the Houston Texans. There's a lot of plays that just didn't make sense.
It could be the calling as well, but I also think he is not fully confident yet.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
And there've been some close games. I mean, the game against Tennessee, they lost it basically because Jadeveon Clowney got an unsportsmanlike behavior penalty. Had that not happened, they would have won that.
Lots of buts.
And
too many.
And against the
Mine's
Patriots,
about to go numb right now, but it's all right. I'm fine, by the way. I'm really good. Yeah, camera can't see it now, but I got the most comfortable chair in the house.
You're sitting
Luxury.
on the stool, Ujitha. That's what happens to Super Bowl
We don't talk
champions.
about sitting a stool, please.
Don't talk
Family
about my
show.
stools, babe.
No, but
It was.
Can we move on?
It was a family show for 4 episodes, and then this happened.
Yeah,
well, save it for the Sports Unhinged segment, Sports Unhinged After Dark.
Okay,
We'll have
We'll
another
come-
one where you guys can leave.
This
come
is
back
really
this.
unhinged, isn't it?
We'll come back in November.
But again, going back to the Texans, against the Patriots, they've had 11 penalties. So there's been a lot of other reasons other than Deshaun Watson why they're losing. And a lot of people are already saying, okay, he's a bust. All the
He's
hype
not
was
a
for
bust, and
nothing.
he's not an elite. He's a kid
We
learning
don't
his
know.
trade.
I think
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think we can make that conclusion yet. We can't say he's not elite just
No.
yet. I don't think so.
That's what I'm saying.
No one's
He's
elite.
very much a work in progress. It's year 2.
Yeah,
He missed
exactly.
half of year 1. He's a kid.
Yeah.
He's like
He's not elite
Trubisky.
yet.
If I was Houston, I wouldn't be worried about my quarterback. I'd
Yeah.
be worried about my head coach. I'd be worried about all sorts of other positions. I wouldn't be worried about my quarterback.
Now let's look at the other side of the coin where we have a surprise of the year so far and a candidate for MVP so far.
Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes.
Mahomes.
You can't say Mahomes without doing it.
Now, as Bill Parcells says, don't fit him for a gold jacket just yet.
Yeah.
But he has been playing lights out.
I think he's done, though.
Yeah, you did.
I'll tell you why, because he'd averaged 5 touchdowns in the first 2 games, and then he had 3 the other Sunday.
Pathetic.
He's done.
Yeah.
But you guys, again, if you look into the detail, the devil's in the details. He's been up against 3 of the 4 worst defenses in the league.
You still got to make the plays.
Forget
Yeah.
about him for a second. Think about his coach, Andy Reid.
Yeah.
The trade he made in the off-season, he got rid of a competent quarterback, Alex
Right.
Smith, because he knew what he'd got in Patrick
Yep,
Mahomes. So
Andy Reid's done a great job. You know, he
Yeah.
kept him. He didn't bring in Mahomes last season.
Right.
Mahomes kept him
That's
under.
going to be a thing now.
Yeah,
It is a
it's
thing,
already
yeah.
a thing now. You can't just do it. You got to say Mahomes.
otherwise it just looks stupid.
It's just you tapping your heart.
Exactly, yeah. No one cares.
Got heart problems, Joe. Andy Reid's done a great job. I'm not just saying because
Yeah.
he was
Brilliant.
an Eagles
No,
coach.
because
Brilliant job.
over the seasons, you saw what the ceiling of Alex Smith was. He'll get you through to the playoffs. I mean, last year they started 5-0.
Yeah.
They looked like they're going to take control. And Alex Smith just, when you get to the playoffs, you have to be able to make those deep balls. You have to have an arm. He just doesn't have it.
Andy Reid's got the deep balls.
And he
I'll tell you
he
that.
went for it. He went for it. Put his faith on Patrick Mahomes, and he's been flying. since then.
Kansas'
And-
biggest
but-
problem at the moment is the fact that they've got the worst defense in terms of numbers. They've given up 22 yards, 474 a game. So
And the next 2 games should be a good test for Patrick Mahomes because they're up against the Broncos and then the Jaguars. So.
but see, that offense is so good that whatever. Trying to have a serious conversation.
Go ahead.
Please.
Go ahead.
he's really putting us off here.
Yeah, he is. I mean,
You started it.
invites us over and then joking her about.
Can we talk about Mahomes again?
We can. But look at that offense though. Yeah, you got in any given Sunday you got either it's Tyreek Hill or Kelsey,
The weapons
or
he
it's
has.
Kareem Hunt. The weapons, and that's enough, even if the defense isn't doing that great.
I would
Right.
be really concerned if I was Kansas.
Kansas?
Kansas. Goodness
And
me,
that's the
Kansas.
show, folks.
Yeah, it's been fun. My name's Ujitha.
You wish.
I'd be really worried about
Yeah.
what happened in the second half on Sunday,
Right.
where they scored 3 points and let in 27 or something.
They were very poor.
They were really, really poor.
So what we've seen over the last 3 weeks, anything could happen in this league right now. Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Well,
just doesn't
look
make
at Tampa.
sense. Tampa Bay.
Fitzgerald.
Fitz magic.
Fitz.
But you know what happens when you
Yeah.
when you steal another man's swag, you lose a game.
Yeah.
And that's what he did at that press conference.
Oh, yeah.
He stole the Jackson swag.
Oh, yeah.
And then they
He did.
lost.
No, but then again, he had a very bad first half where people were saying the only way that Jameis Winston would probably get his job back week 4 is if Fitzpatrick has an absolutely terrible,
Well, he didn't.
terrible
He
game.
did not have a terrible.
He had a terrible first half. He threw 3
But
interceptions.
that's what makes him better because
He came
you come
back.
back.
And
Exactly.
he came back,
He
and he
came back.
almost got them there
Exactly.
within 3
So
points
I think
against the
it
Pittsburgh
would be
Steelers.
it would be crazy if Tampa wants to sudge him in.
All right, then. Let's say that they go to Chicago on Sunday and lose.
Yeah.
Do they
Badly.
badly?
It depends on
they,
how
they
he
won't
plays,
win
right?
badly.
Yeah.
Let's say they lose by 10 points. Don't matter what. Do they bring Winston back then, week 5?
Again, it depends. It depends on whose fault that loss is.
No, but they'll say, well, somewhere along the line he didn't do a job somewhere. They might blame him for something.
I think the
We need a
Jameis
change.
Winston experiment has gone on a bit too long. He's the number 1 draft pick, right? We've got a lot of good quarterbacks coming in the next draft. I think before he gets worse, because he has very bad decision making. I think that's one of his problems. He loses focus and he just has makes really bad decisions at some point. Do you get more value for him right now by trading him and getting something back?
I wouldn't trade
And
him
then
this
go
year.
again to the
I
draft.
wouldn't
Okay.
You've got Fitzpatrick. I mean, clearly
Yeah, but-
he can get you.
No,
but look
what
at
about a swap
Fitzpatrick.
between Dak and Winston then? No, I'm just saying.
I would take it. If I was the
No, but
if you're
Buccaneers,
Tampa, yeah.
if I was Tampa, I would take it in a heartbeat. I'll take
Exactly.
Dak Prescott.
I'm just putting it out there. There's
Yeah.
no substance to that whatsoever. But
Yeah.
both guys are a little bit on thin ice at the minute. It could change in the next 12 weeks.
Yeah.
But,
But-
Fitzpatrick is not a sustainable quarterback.
He's
No.
had these sparks
Yeah,
before.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
played in what, like
But he's-
50 NFL teams or whatever it is.
But he became the first quarterback to throw for 400
Yeah,
yards,
so how you
3
go-
games
how
in a
you-
row.
How are you going to take that guy out and bring in Jameis? It's not gonna
83.3% at the minute.
Yeah.
You know, you can't ask any more than that at this stage of the season. So
happen. Not from that beard, that's for sure.
he's
But you,
That's a funky beard.
he's completed 78 out of 111. It's not bad.
but then you gotta
Yeah.
love NFL fans these days. He has one bad half, and it's a quarterback controversy all of a sudden.
You mean
Winston's-
Buccaneers fans? You mean Buccaneers fans who don't choose their own teams?
Let's give
well,
a little bit.
This is a different subject.
It's a really good subject.
This is a good time to bring in your website, Pick4 Fantasy. So you're the commissioner, you're the founder. of Pick4
apparently.
Pick4
Apparently.
Fantasy.
He's the money behind it.
Yeah.
So for those guys, listen, Pick4 Fantasy is
Pick4
Dubai's own fantasy football. Well, not fantasy football.
Free of
Pick'ems.
charge.
It's just
Free of
about
charge.
picking winners.
Pick'ems website
That's
for
what-
the
that's
NFL.
what it is, yeah.
What's the full website address?
Pick4Fantasy.wixsite.
It's going to take you a while, so
We'll put the link on there. We'll edit the link on there.
it's for free. Let's put that in there.
Right now, obviously, the season started, so we can't take any extra players, but you can start rooting for one
For
of
your
us.
own teams, unlike the Bucks fans.
Yeah. So we have a lot of Buccaneers fans who keep picking against their own team every week, and that's where that was.
You
coming
just
from.
lost at least 2 viewers.
How
are you gonna recover from that?
Out of 4.
No, but I think tell us about that website. How did it come about? Because that's how I met you guys.
All right, let's give you a very, very,
we'll wrap it up
very,
there.
brief story.
Yeah.
Are you serious? We got a lot to talk. Okay, all right, fine. Very quick, brief history. We started this back in 2012. It was just 4 guys on Twitter to say, you know what, let's, I think it was week 7 back in 2012. So let's just pick 4 winners.
Right.
And that's what we did. And then the next week we were like, all right, that was fun, what we did last week. Let's do it again. So it was week 7, and then we did the whole season, just the 4 of us.
Right.
No, I think...
I think 7 of us actually. But
Right, then 3 more came on board. It was 7 of us. And then me and him, we talked. I don't like talking to him. too
I don't
much,
like
but,
talking to him at all.
There was no choice at that time.
we were desperate.
We were very desperate.
Times were hard. There was a recession on.
Midlife crisis.
2012. There was a little bit of a dip
This is
there.
now this is now a talk show. That's what it is. Anyway, getting back on track. Then we got a lot of people who wanted to join. So Mike Justice,
Yeah.
our Redskins boy in Oman, He was one of the first to join. Andy Turner was.
I don't think we need to go through the names. We've got a good number fairly quickly.
It's only 58 names.
And the chronological order they joined.
And their email.
And their ages.
Well, yeah. So in the second season, we had about 15. And then it grew over time. So, now we're at 32 players every season, and it's a different type of league. You know what it is. You just pick 4 winners.
You pick 4 winners every week out of 8 games.
And that's it. Yes, you don't have any heartaches like in those other leagues. If there's no injury because you're picking teams,
there's a nucleus that sort of been in the league for a few years.
That's right. Yeah,
and we tend to chat amongst ourselves. Excuse me.
I mean, the whole league
it's more about talking nonsense.
We meet on Sundays at
the original
Wings and Rings.
Liberty House, Dubai.
Only place to watch the NFL in Dubai.
Good place.
So we meet up there. You know that.
And if you guys want to meet up or join the Pick 4 Fantasy community, you can come there. We have a table booked there every week. You can come join us, find us there, and
just go to the front desk and say you want the Pick 4 table, and you'll find us.
And they'll kick you out right away.
All right, folks. So I think we'll wrap it up there. It's been a kind of good start to the NFL. But before I do that, I want
a weird one.
One bold prediction. I made a bold prediction at the beginning of the season that the Cowboys were going to win the East. I'm not looking good right now. One bold prediction each, and make it good.
Falcons take the South.
Okay.
Oh. Redskins take the East.
Okay.
That's not bold. I mean, that's going to
not
happen.
bold.
That's not bold.
You can do better. You can do
I can do better. Okay.
Bears win the Super Bowl.
Miami take their division.
Miami takes the East. AFC
East.
I mean, they haven't played good defensive teams as yet. So they're coming up the Patriots next week.
Huge game.
That's what a bold prediction is supposed to be.
You see,
it might be bolder than that, though.
If Miami win in New England, New England got issues, and Miami going to be on a high. But they got to play Chicago later on, so they'll be done. They'll be done.
They're done.
Yeah.
What's your bold prediction is still Dallas?
I'm sticking with Dallas for at least 3 more weeks, and then we'll talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll hold you to that.
We don't need to talk, but okay.
Can we email?
Morse code it to me, baby.
All right. That has been Sports Unhinged. Don't forget to subscribe and like our Facebook website, and you can find us on YouTube and Instagram.
You got to give him the high five.
He talks a lot, doesn't he?
No, but we got to give him the high five.
Oh, yeah, high five.
You Panthers are not used to high fives.
Because Cam never gets a high five.
You got friends, Mohamed. You got friends.
Cam.
You got friends in the end zone,
Superman. And unlike Matt Ryan and some other quarterbacks there, we score the touchdown first, then we give it to the crowd. All right? We don't miss our Julio Jones and throw it straight to the crowd.
Nobody likes Cam.
You still need friends in the touchdown area.
Yeah. Cam does.
They just give him
you got friends.
They give him his space.
No
they
problem.
give him his space to do the Superman.
We got a high five for you every time, baby.
We'll wrap it up there, folks. Thanks for watching.
I don't think
he let it
Sports Unhinged.
Not at all.
And
He's getting upset.
we'll cut it there.